everybody. Thank you for joining me. My name is Carlos. Today we're going to be getting into a midweek leg session, one of the twice a week leg sessions that we're using to bring up our legs and increase the size of them. Before we do that, please hit that subscribe button, leave a comment, post notifications, all that good stuff. So, here we're dealing with a PR mentality, progressive overload, trying to make gains at every single opportunity possible. Now, for you guys that have been into this for a while, you know that that's not sustainable and that there are days when you just don't have either the motivation, the strength, something is missing from the workout where you can't go in. Say you're doing 400 or 500 pounds on whatever exercise. You get up in the morning and you're dragging your ass to the bathroom, you're making your breakfast or whatever, it's like the last thing on your mind is, how am I going to be able to do this? And so obviously you're not as motivated as when you're fresh and you get up and say, man, I can't wait to get to the gym. I want to put 7 plates on that bar and just crush it, right? So this is what happens. This is a normal par for the course situation when you're dealing with a PR mentality and staying on point with your training. In other words, you're training 4 or 5 times a week, you're training with very heavy weights, and you're trying to make gains at every single opportunity. So what do when you get to the gym and you find out that you just don't have it in you to do what you had, what that piece of paper says that you should be doing? It's like, my God, if I do that, I'm going to kill myself. So what do? How do you rescue a session and not go home with your tail between your legs like a whipped puppy or something? What do? Well, this is where you have a heavy and a light day. At least this is what I do. This is my plan B. I try to go heavy all the time, but on those days that I just can't, I'll insert my lighter day, and I'll still try to do something extraordinary or something different or something to, a standout excuse me, a standout exercise that I can say, wow, okay, that was different. That was I'm going to get gains from that. So that was one of these days. One of those days. Started out with the walking lunge, and right off the start I noticed I was very stiff. I was like just trying to get the motor going. Did, body weight lunges across the gym, came back, and just trying to bite the bullet of getting through this. And I said, I'm not really enjoying this. And so as soon as I thought that, what was the answer? Pick up 40-pound dumbbells, which is like my top weight with the walking lunges with the dumbbells. And I'm just going to, torture myself. Basically, that was it. So I grabbed those 40-pound dumbbells and, did a set of those. And I said, well, shit, I can really force myself to do these things. From there, we went to the leg press. Now, on the leg press, I worked up to 10 plates the other day, doing like 5, 7, 9, and 10 plates on each side, which is very heavy load, extremely heavy load. And today I started out with 3, 4, and finished with a top set of 5. So nothing extraordinary there. Really just trying to go for stretch, doing it slow, more like a meditative yoga type of thing, if you can relate to that. 5 plates on each side on a leg press, that's like yoga. I don't know. It was, it was just like getting through it. For me, it was like Pilates or something, it's just very lightweight. And still, because I was stiff and sore and like not complete, let me backtrack and give a backstory. So the session previous to this one, I hit PRs like on 3 different movements, on 3 different exercises, and I moved the whole thing forward really, quickly and significantly, like on my PR quest. It went forward in a big manner. And so, to repeat those, session after session would be quite extraordinary. I don't know if it can be done. So that's the backstory on that. And today it was like, it cannot be done. And so got through the leg press and feeling stiff. It wasn't like, oh, this is so wonderful, I'm getting a nice pump and everything. From there, what the heck did I do? Then I went to the leg extensions. And I figure I'm just going to camp out at the leg extension machine. I really don't want to go home and have a failed session. There's no way I'm going to do anything spectacular today. I was starting to talk a lot with different guys at the gym and just, hey, yeah, just bullshitting my way through the session. So I camped out at the leg extensions and did 10 sets. Yeah, you heard that right. Did 10 sets with my starting weight, which is like 100 pounds on the pin load. And I did 10 sets of 15 to 20. It's just like I was just going to spend the rest of the time there. I'm just going to sit on the leg machine until I can't walk anymore, until I can't extend my foot forward. And did that do it? No. I could have done another 10 sets. It's like, unless I really focused and just killed it on the machine. So that was basically it. So today's video is basically how do you deal with a PR mentality when you just don't have it in you. The other thing is I'm bulking pretty hard. I'm not taking any supplements like weight gainers, no protein powders. I'm just like eating a lot of food, and I'm making sure I'm eating at least 350 grams of cooked rice on most of my meals, and that's a lot. That's a lot. That's like 2 pounds of rice a day or more. So I've been feeling sluggish. Also, since I'm off the gear, I've been off the gear now going on 7 weeks actually. 7 solid weeks with no gear, a low dose TRT, and I'm still, like I said, I was making gains up to the last session, but I'm, feeling not the same. Obviously, I don't feel as motivated. The strange thing is, I'm gaining muscle. I am gaining size. I'm gaining strength, as some of these sessions have been proving to me. So it's like, this is extraordinary. So much of this is like a mental. That's absolutely a mental thing. And mental, you have control over your own mind. No matter what they say about chemical reactions, you're not at the mercy of the material world totally. You can impose a thought. You can impose an attitude, and you can impose your will on anything that you will to do. If you decide this is important, and I have, and I said this is very important, so come what may, I do what I need to do. I'm getting up in the morning at 3:30 in the morning. I start my day. I cook. I get all my food out. I cook. I weigh what needs to be weighed. And, I just get into it. And I'm on zombie mode much of the time, so I'm not really thinking about everything I need to do as far as, my physique, body, weightlifting, bodybuilding thing goes. I get to the gym, and I've also found that no matter how unmotivated or lazy I feel or sluggish, and of course, when you're gaining weight, you're eating a lot of carbs, you're not going to feel the same as if you're on a low carb, diet and you're training and doing cardio and all this stuff. You're going to be more hyped up, have a bit of insomnia, you're drinking a lot of coffee in that particular situation. You're more in the burn mode, and of course, if you're burning a lot of fat, you're going to be very energetic. And so it's kind of a paradox here that as you're gaining weight, gaining muscle, you become weaker in some sense. It's you become more sluggish. Everything's slower. Everything's a bit harder. So just sharing that one man's particular journey. If you've gone through this, you know that this is how it is. And this is like my 7th week, and the program is for many weeks. It's like sometimes I program these things and I break my plan because something better comes up. But for now, it's TRT in bulk. So a lot of it, yeah, it's mental, and it's very good to have this, these ups and downs. It's absolutely imperative, and it's necessary that you do so. It's like the day-night cycle, the high, the low. If you stay jazzed and jacked and on gear, just like permanently, forever, it's kind of, you're going to crash and burn one of these days, and then that's not good. So what I'm trying to say is that in these valleys, there's also a lot of progress that can be made on several different fronts. One, the muscle. So I'm gaining weight. I know I'm gaining size, which is amazing when you're on a low dose. But I've heard this. This can be done. As long as you stay training. Guys who come off gear, sometimes they stop training. They stop eating the way they've been accustomed to eating when they're on gear. And so many of the factors that or the environment that produces the muscle, they've abandoned that environment thinking that it's all the gear. And that's the biggest error. That's like the biggest sin. I don't believe it's bad to use gear. I think it's bad to believe that that's what's giving you everything that you got. That's an idolatry. It becomes your God. And then once that God is gone, you're gone. You know, it's like, bye. But no, gear is a tool. It's a very great, helpful tool. It's like having a freaking bulldozer when you need, when you were just using a backhoe or, a little shovel, and all of a sudden you got a bulldozer. So incredible tools. Now, if you have to go back to using your shovel, you better be damn good at using that freaking shovel. You know what I mean? You can use anything you have. So my first love is training. I love to go and train. My first love is not gear. I trained naturally for 27 years, for God's sakes. And I had gear around me. I never did it. I didn't want to. I said, no, I don't need it. But there came a time when I said, well, enough's enough. Now let's try this. Let's go. I went full potato on it, So I'm loving it. But I'm loving the fact that when you're off gear and you can still make gains, still have a great attitude, enjoy life, put on weight, and do everything that this big tool was helping you do. Now you don't have it for a time being. What does that mean? That means when I get back on gear, it's like just going to go, so I'm holding off. I don't care if I'm off it for months and months and months, or for how long, whatever time. The longer the better. If I'm making gains without it, again, I'm not competing. I'm not trying. My competition, for me, is to get stronger and better as I age. That's my particular, what I'm competing for. I'm 58 right now. I want to be very strong and bulkier and more massive when I'm 65. Because, see, this is the thing. I think it's fairly common to see muscular old men. That's fine. That's great. Good on them. I want to be massive. Like, you don't really see many 70-year-old guys that, just big. They're shredded. They're lean. They're veiny. Their legs are slight because it's very hard to maintain leg mass, like bubbles on your quads. This is what I am trying to strive for. And I am such a contrarian that I absolutely will say, if everybody says that is not possible, I'll say you're all wrong. You're liars. It's just not true. The thing is, as people get older, you get lazier with certain movements. You don't want to crouch down. You don't want to kneel down. You don't use your legs as much. You sit more. Those who unfortunately have carried over vices from their youth, they drink. And as you get older, after 60 especially, if you drink alcohol, it's like 10 times more detrimental to your brain and to your liver and to everything than when you were young. And so these carryover vices can really fuck you up as you get older. And, in the past, I've done it all. Everything. Today, I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't do any vices whatsoever. No psychoactive substances and nothing, just nothing. And for years, so I feel very confident that particular bad baggage of youth is not going to impede my progress to my quest to be big, not only, shredded and muscular, but big. See, this is the thing. It's not common to see an older guy that's really big. Well, they got big bellies, plenty of fat. And of course, this is going to take gear. But if you're a healthy person, if you are absolutely healthy, you don't have hereditary disease by the grace of God and by your good genetics, and you can push a lot of gear when you're 60 and you're 70, old men on trend. No blood pressure issues, everything's going fine, then you're going to see older guys looking really unusually large. But, so sharing a lot of what it is that I'm trying to do. And of course, you're going to get opinions on this. Many people are going to say, oh, you're going to kill yourself, you're all going to die anyways. Everybody who's natural is going to get sick. Everybody who does not do anabolic steroids is going to die from some disease. Just because you don't do something does not guarantee you're not You're not, you're not human, you know? Every single human being on this planet has died, man, from something, and before steroids were even invented. So, and steroids are actually, from personal experience, they can extend your well-being, improve and enhance everything. Everything. And so if that's the case, and your well-being is enhanced, and you're feeling good, and you're staying on point with training and diet, you know, that in itself can help you live a longer life. That must piss some people off, seeing some guy getting up to 85 years old, doing steroids, and, you know, just getting stronger and everything, and, you know, they're 70, you know, I'm natty, and, you know, they get a disease and die. You know, it's like, why? This is not fair. It's like, you know, people get lung cancer and don't smoke. People get liver diseases that don't drink. That's just the way biology is in this life. It's you know, so my personal philosophy is, you know, I'm just going for it. I'm just going for it because you can't lose what you don't have. You don't have immortality, so you can't lose it by doing the things that whatever you're going to do. Not immortality in this physical sense. So I know some people out there might be smart enough to grasp what I'm saying. I'm not belittling anybody who doesn't, or who thinks that that's just wrong. Tough! I mean, you know, everybody has their own different lives. And this is my shtick. This is what I'm doing. Really strayed, but I love to introduce these philosophical tidbits into my conversations. It gets the conversation going. It gets people thinking. So that's what I'm doing. Light leg day. 10 sets on the leg extension. Was not able to perform the heavy stuff. Nonetheless, body weight is going up, muscle mass is increasing, and you know, my other training sessions have been going great. So that'll be all for today. We'll leave it at that, and I'm very much looking forward to presenting another video with a more PR-filled, exciting presentation. Although this was fun for me, I love it. And I love that you guys are, you know, listening and following me and all this stuff. So God bless you all. Whatever, you know, you want to know or need to know from me, just leave a comment and hit that subscribe button. God bless everybody. We'll see you next time.